Hi OJ. When I came across the story about the hookup girl on your channel, I decided to share mine as well. In my case, it was my mom who introduced both myself and my brother to hookup. It all began when my dad passed away. I was only 7 years old and my brother was 5 by then. After my dad's death, his family kicked my mom out of the house. Life became unbearably hard for us. My mom's family wouldn't take her in either, so we had no choice but to sleep in people's shop for shelter. We had to drop out of school because surviving each day was already a struggle. There was a man who liked my mom so much at that time, but he only wanted to exploit her vulnerability. Even though my mom refused his advances, he kept coming around. When I turned 12, this man was still visiting us, always pretending that he wanted to marry my mom. But he never helped her in any way. My mom had to fend for us on her own, trying to keep us in school. One day while I was on my way home from school, this man called me to come over. He told me he wanted to give me money to help my mom and asked me to follow him into his room. I went with him as innocent as I was, thinking he was going to help me, but instead he sexually assaulted me. He told me not to tell anyone and gave me 1 Ghana cedi as a gift, saying I should use it to buy some candy. I was in so much pain, both physically and emotionally, and I could barely walk home. When I got home, my mom asked why I was late, but I couldn't bring myself to say anything. The next morning, when my mom was bathing me, she noticed something was wrong in between my legs. She was furious and demanded to know who had hurt me. I told her it was her friend, the man who had been pursuing her for years. My mom was enraged. She stormed over to his house and threatened to report him to the police. Scared, he offered her 200 Ghana cedis to keep quiet. It is at this point that I would ask that you subscribe to the channel, share this video or a comment, because that is the only way you encourage me to bring you more stories and confessions. Please subscribe and not miss out on the end of the story. Let's go. My mom took the money and stayed silent. From then on, whenever she needed money, she would threaten him and he would give her 100 cedis or 50 cedis to buy her silence. By the time I was 16, my mom started arranging hookup for me with different men, some of them old enough to be my father. She would tell me what to do when I visited them, even making me watch adult film so I could learn. She did the same thing to my brother too. My brother was also drawn into this nightmare. Older men and women began paying to sleep with him. That became my mom's new source of income. He would come home with large sums of money, but he was always in terrible pain. Eventually, he had to start wearing adult diapers because he couldn't control the bowel movements anymore. There were times when my brother didn't want to go, but my mom would get angry. She would scream at him, telling him that if he refused, she would disown him. Sadly, the abuse became too much for him to bear. I lost my brother to everything he went through. When he died, my mom didn't even shed a tear. She acted like nothing had happened, and she didn't let me quit the hookup life she forced upon me. Some clients would demand to sleep with me without protection, and my mom would agree for as little as 30 Ghana cedis or even 15 cedis. Whenever I contracted any infection, my mom wouldn't care. She told me to continue working and even instructed me to spread the infections to the men I slept with. She never once took me to the hospital for treatment or checkup. My life is ruined now, OJ. People in my neighborhood look at me like I'm some kind of bad person, like I chose this lifestyle. They have no idea that it was my mom who pushed me into this form to start with. Now, my mom is gravely ill and she wants me to continue doing this hookup so I can make money to pay for her treatments. But I've had enough. After everything she did to me and my brother, I want to see her rot in the hospital because of what she took me and my brother through. She doesn't deserve to live, OJ. I pray she dies soon. And I pray no one goes through what I went through. What happens when your dreams become your reality? Click on this video as a lady shares how her spiritual husband is haunting her even in real life.